Alright, welcome back. Kult of Athena Blade Reviews. Hanwei Cawood Sword. And this one is an 11th century Viking sword. One of the best known for as far as the 11th century, one of the best preserved Viking swords that we know today. Actually has, not this one, this is the Hanwei one. The actual one that was found actually has a place in the Yorkshire Museum. So it's pretty sweet. We've got a replica of that with a really great handle, really interesting pommel design as well. So we're taking a look at some specs on it, some close-up looks at it in the scabbard, out of the scabbard. Then we'll do some cut testing. Let's get to it. Alright, so taking a look at the specs on this blade. We're looking at a 36-inch overall blade length, all the way from the pommel. This is a peen pommel. Notice the little hammer marks going into it. We have a pretty sweet Viking-style pommel as well. 3 little points coming out. Very sweet as it's coming out. Kind of looks like feathers, to be honest with you. Pretty awesome. Blade length is 30 inches. So just like the Viking sword we just did with Tinker, the Hanwei Viking sword of the 9th century, got a very similar blade length of 30 inches. Pretty deep fuller. So this fuller goes all the way in. I'm going to slide this out of the way really quick. Boom. Got the logo going through there as well for Hanwei. We got the fuller going all the way up just until the last upper third of the blade, which would be the primary striking surface that you'd actually be hitting your opponent or thrusting them with. That's why it's kept in that direction. And everything else with the fuller goes all the way down, primarily to take out excess weight. Just unnecessary weight doesn't need to be there. You don't really need it because the blade is forged pretty well together. So it's pretty sweet. What I really like about this is the handle. If we take a look at it in the scabbard, so I can show you a close look to it. Take a look at the handle. It's wrapped leather, and it folds over every section of it. Meaning, might not mean anything to you, but when you're feeling it, the grip is a little bit thicker toward forefinger and middle finger. And then slightly, just like maybe like half a millimeter or even a millimeter itself, goes into a thicker grip as well. So if you have gloves on for this one, it'll feel really good. The leather on leather contact will give you a nice tight grip. If you don't have gloves on, don't worry about it because I don't have gloves on right now. This feels really comfortable in the hand. The leather is not tacky. There's nothing like grainy or any of the other BS that you'll get kind of with like more price point swords, like less expensive ones. This is actually really good leather on here. Basing that off of what I've done from holding a couple hundred blades from all these reviews. So the cross guard is pretty sweet as well, just allowing you to keep the hand protected. If anything was to ricochet off, you have that cross guard protecting the inside and the outside of the center line. Depends entirely on how you're holding this as well. I don't know what you fight with or like what you're looking at as far as historical goes, but I do know that I can tell you it's a pretty sweet handguard. Weight, 2 pounds, 7 ounces for this blade. Single-handed sword, obviously. 5160 high carbon steel for this blade as well. Hanwei does a lot of blades with 5160, this is a solid steel. Really good on manipulation with single hand. Feels really easy to move around with, whether you're thrusting with it or if you are slashing with it as well. Feels really comfortable in the hand. So if we come back to it, I want to go ahead and take a look at the scabbard. We've got a belt loop for the scabbard that's carved out. This is all the same leather that you have on the handle. It's just nice and smooth for this one. We got some designs going through. Steel tip. Flip it over on the other side. There's no pin on it. Steel tip. That way, if for some reason you were wearing this with a sword frog, if you were to kneel, something like that, you're not destroying the scabbard. You're just allowing that to stay protected. Keep your scabbard in one piece. You got the loop here. If you got the frog, obviously these are not worn up here. They're worn far lower on that. You can attach that through, do a belt rig, or even like a thigh rig as well. Depends entirely on what you want to do with it. So what I want to do with this one is do some up close looks of this in the scabbard, out of the scabbard. Then we'll take a look at some cut testing and move from there. Alright, taking a look at some cut testing with the Hanwei Cawood Sword. We did a little bit of up close looks at it, some specs. Now let's see what this blade can do. That was gonna be cool. Alright, let's hit it again. Split that one pretty well. Just for the fun of it, let's try to hit it again and see where it goes. We're not gonna have much leverage on it, but let's see. Just experiment this one again as it come out. See what the cut did on that one. Still a deep cut. Put this down really quick. Still a pretty deep cut. So that did really well. Pretty sweet edge. It's a factory edge on it too, so it's definitely functionally sharp. No damage to the blade. I mean, if you're using proper soft targets with this in a proper setting like we are right now, then shouldn't be any problem with it at all. And you gotta have some training as well to do that. So awesome for the Hanwei Cawood Sword. All right, so thanks for joining me for this blade review, the Hanwei Cawood Sword. This is a Viking sword, 11th century, pretty sweet blade, very versatile, pretty lightweight as well, really easy to move in the hand, and also, like I said, a very, very solid brown leather grip as well, with a matching scabbard, hardwood cord scabbard to match it. So there's some specs, some up close looks at it, and obviously some cut testing as well. Just our normal jam that we do here. If you like blades like this, let me know in the comments below if you want to see more Hanwei swords. They make some of my favorite Viking swords as well, Hanwei does. They also just did a 9th century Viking sword, one of the Tinker ones. Did that for a review this month. Check it out in the videos below this. Subscribe to the channel, like this video. Talk to you soon.